Hi, guys, and welcome to another Armin's Tech Talk, where today we're talking about extending the storage on your Xbox Series system. First, we got to talk about the drive. So you have two different options really to extend the storage on your system. You can buy one of these Seagate drives, which was specifically made for the Xbox Series. This is an NVMe drive. It attaches in a port on the back of the system. It is a port that is proprietary to the Microsoft Series consoles, but this comes in at 1 TB, currently at $219 MSRP. You can usually find them a little cheaper on Amazon, but that's roughly what the MSRP for. I picked this one up for $210. It was a little bit on sale when I saw it. Option number two is, of course, for your legacy storage, although you can, or your legacy games, although you can swap games back and forth as cold storage for your newer Xbox Series games. However, you would not be able to play them off this. I ended up picking up the Seagate Gaming Series. It's a Halo Special Edition. This is 5 terabytes. It's not the largest drive that Seagate makes. This is a USB 3 drive. Original Xbox games, backwards compat games, 360 games, and I believe Xbox One games will run off this drive, off USB 3. You do not need to have the games on the system's internal storage to use them. So that is one benefit there. Again, you can use this external drive to cold store your games for the series system. So all the brand new games that are coming out, you just can't play with them. So our next step, now that I've shown you what we're working with, is to go ahead and actually show you attaching the drive to the system. Now, of course, with the Xbox Series X, I don't have a Series S to show you guys, but with the Series X, you have several USB ports on the back of the console. We'll get to that in just a moment. Guys, now that we have the drives unpackaged, I will say, just as a quick comment, new packaging does not appear to last as well. So the packaging here on the NVMe drive, I was not as sturdy as it is on the Halo external storage. The external storage packaging, let's just say, didn't make it. So, but I don't plan on using that again. So it's not a big deal. It really is only really more of a deal maybe if you're a collector. With that being said, let's move on with the insertion of the drives into the system. First, I want to start with the size of the NVMe drive. It's really, really small. I mean, they really crammed 1 terabyte of storage into a really nice small package. It does come with a little cover to protect the port on the drive. And then, of course, you can see here by my finger that it does have the size of the drive, 1 terabyte. Again, as I said earlier in the video, this retails for $119. I found, or excuse me, $219. I found it for around $210. Microsoft does have plans to work with Seagate here in the future to actually create different sizes of these drives and hopefully price them at different retail prices to give everybody a chance to expand their storage. As the Xbox Series X only has 1 terabyte inside, and the Series S only has a 512 gigabyte. Now, installation on this is pretty easy. Now, this is actually, I will say, this is my second take at doing this. The first take didn't end up getting recorded. As you can see here, the drive fits fairly easily, if I'm putting it in the right way. It does push a little bit hard. That is one important thing to note. When you do get it into the slot, it will make an audible click. Again, I don't know if you guys can actually hear that click on the stream or on the video here, but it does make a click when it is secure. Next, for our external drive, we have a USB power to USB-A cable. This is the A part, and then this is the power part. Now, the power part does go into the top of the drive here. So we want to take this and make sure that it's adjusted like so. And that's pretty well in there. Again, this does push a little bit hard. There is some resistance. There's not too much resistance, so it shouldn't be extremely difficult. But you do want to keep that in mind when you're installing this, that there will be a little bit of resistance. So not to worry about that. If you're trying to use your full force to push it in, though, you may be installing it wrong. So you want to be a little careful about that, as you don't want to break the connector. And I am putting this in upside down, I believe. So let's flip that. And I am using the camera for you guys that are on stream watching me do this. So that way, I'm actually pretty much watching it the same way you guys are. I'm not actually looking at the parts themselves. That way that there's no confusion on why I'm having a little difficulty putting the connectors in the ports as necessary. But now that we've got this connected, let's move on to the next step and get these drives set up in the system. So I'll be back with you here in just a moment. We're back. So now we are on the dashboard of the Xbox Series X, and as you can see, I am going to navigate to the settings. So this is basically how you will end up adding the drives to your system. So once you are in settings, you will navigate down to system. You can see here where it says storage. You're going to click on storage. Now you can see that the internal storage is already there. The 802 gigs that you have available out of the 1 terabyte that is built into the Xbox Series X. And then you can see that there is the expansion storage with 919 gigs free out of the 1 terabyte. The expansion storage is already automatically set up for games and apps, and you can see that here in the UI. And now we're on the Xbox Series X. Both drives are connected as we did. One thing to note when connecting your external drive is that you may have to use an alternate USB port if the one that you first connected into doesn't provide power. The one I connected it to on the back didn't seem to be providing power, or maybe it was because I connected it in before I plugged in the system. I would have to experiment with that to see exactly what happened. But what you should see when you plug in an external drive and the system is already on is what we have in front of you. It should recognize the external drive, and it should ask you whether you want to use it for media or you want to use it as a storage device. Again, you can only do one or the other. So since I want to eventually play a lot of backwards compatible titles on my Xbox Series X, I'm going to use it as a storage device. Again, this is a 5 terabyte drive, so I should have quite a bit of space for games. As you can see that the system is recognizing this expansion USB device is 4.5 terabytes. So we're going to go into format storage device. Now, when you first plug in the drive, no matter what screen that you're on, it should pop up this menu that you're seeing in front of you. If you don't have, if that does not pop up, what you can do is you can go into the Xbox Series X or Xbox One, 1X settings menu, go down to system, go to storage, and you should be able to see your options there. And we're just going to keep the default name on the device. I don't really see any reason to change it. I guess I could change it to Halo Drive, but we're just going to leave it as is. Or not. And maybe we'll just call it the Halo Drive. And we don't necessarily want to install new things here. What I will most likely do is I will actually transfer anything that I need over. I'll just make sure that I have plenty of space on the internal drive. And yeah, you only want it usable on an Xbox console, so that's fine. And we can see that the Halo Drive is now popped up. We can see that it is for games and apps. And then we can also see the storage expansion card, which is the NVMe card. So totally now for games, I now have roughly around 2 terabytes for Xbox Series X games, which with the size of Series X games now and going forward, I may be able to get 10, maybe 15 games on there. It really depends how much Call of Duty continues to grow here in the future. And then we can see that the Halo Drive is there at 4.5 terabytes. There is a Microsoft article out there which will also help you if you have any troubles. I will link that in the description. And if you want to see me create a external storage drive for the PlayStation 5, there is going to be a link up in the corner, and I will or a card up in the corner that you can click on so you can view that video. I hope this was informational for you guys today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay safe out there, and I will see you all in the next video.